Welcome everyone, my name is Brian Stark and I'm one of the co-founders at Traction Ag, and I'm going to walk you through the platform and show you how it's going to benefit your farming operation. So let's get started. To start with, we have the set up your entities. So just to say a few things about this, you can have unlimited number of entities. I've got 2 here in my my demo project here, but you can start with 1, you can add more in the future, there is no limit. And also you can add your revenue and expense accounts pretty easily. So we have all these that you'd find on the Schedule F. You'd pick out your entity, select all these expense accounts and things like that, and so you can totally customize it for your farm. And also that last step is to set up your bank account. So you've got the ability to do it manually, or you can actually connect your credit cards and banks. I actually have both Hicksville Bank and Huntington Bank connected, where I've got my farm checking account connected here, and so when something clears the bank, it automatically drops it into the account register for me. So if I go to the account register on the left, you'll see these little warning symbols, and that's just kind of letting you know that it came over from the bank. And so we do grab the date, the memo, the amount, and whether it cleared or not. But beyond that, you have to code it. So the very first one here, if I click on this, this is where you pick out the contact. So in this example, I wrote a check to Bill Everett's, and it was for cash rent expense. So for my drop-down list, you'll choose out the expense account, and it was for $2,000. That's already done for me. And then I'll pick out what field it impacted. Something you don't have to do necessarily, but I like to track really great records on my fields. And so that was that 20.9 acres here. I'm going to hit apply, and I'm going to hit the save button. Get back to the account register, the little warning symbol disappears, and now I'm ready to do the next transaction. My next example I'm going to show you is what would happen if I had to print a check, or if I hand wrote a check, how do I get that into Traction? Very easy, just hit the add new button, do a new payment. From the contact drop down, we'll just say this was for Keystone Co-op, and it was for $7,500. It was a check. What was it? So this type drop-down list here, we'll choose inputs. I'm going to say I purchased some seed, and we have a database of all the seed varieties, all the chemicals. You might have to add fertilizers, and you might have to add some of these seed varieties if they're not from the drop-down list, but really they should be there. We got the whole database there to pick from. My example here, I have a couple of options. I've got this variety here. I'm going to say that I purchased 10 bags. This particular variety was $3.50 per bag. And I'm going to add a row for another variety. Choose the drop down here, seed, and I'm going to choose this one here. Again, that was 10 bags. That was $300 per bag. Now I still had a difference here of $1,000 that went somewhere else. Now I'm going to hit another add row here, and I know you're not going to buy repair expense from Keystone, but I'm going to choose repair expense and show you how this works. So if I had parts and it was for $1,000, the Traction has the ability to allocate it right to the machine. So from the drop down list, the equipment, you could pick out what machines that this cost impacted, and we'll just choose one here. That's this tractor right here, and I'm going to hit the apply button. And as you can see, everything is detailed out. If you want to add a memo here for like inputs and repairs, you can do that. A lot of people like using an iPad or a tablet where you got the camera built into it. You can actually take a picture of that receipt. This way you have a digital copy of it in Traction. Lots and lots of ways you could slice and dice this, but this is a great example of me just doing a manual transaction. If I wanted to print the check out, that's exactly what I would do. So let me kind of get into the field operations a bit, because the magic happens when you start doing field records and your accounting is completely tied in with it. So what I mean by that, on the left-hand side, you have the ability to go to integrations and actually tie into John Deere Climate Field View. We have lots and lots of integrations. This list is going to keep growing as well. But I do have an integration with John Deere Operations Center. You can see the green check mark here. And what's nice about that, if you do have that ability, all your fields and farm names will automatically appear in Traction. So We do pull in all this information as well as the map. So if I zoomed in down to that farm, you'd see the boundaries. Everything is pulling from either John Deere or Climate Field View. If you don't have either one of those, don't worry about that, because you can actually just add them in by hand. You can hand draw field boundaries as well. So we do have all that capability at your fingertips. So with that said, if I go to my import queue from my field operations side of it, these are going to be all my records coming in from John Deere since I've connected it. This is just kind of holding them here for me to approve. We just don't drop all these field records into Traction automatically. You have to approve these. And so I actually have these records sorted by my seed. So you'll see these are all my seed records. If I go down here, just kind of scroll down, you'll see there's one here called the 2020 West 20.5 field. Actually, I already have these things matching. So my seed variety coming in from John Deere is automatically matching that same seed variety in Traction. It actually remembers that mapping, so I don't have to do it again in the future. That's going to save you a ton of time. My last step here is my equipment side of things, which you don't have to do this necessarily, but I like to track my equipment on my fields. And so in this example here, since I didn't do it in the past, I have to match it the first time. And I can add other equipment in here. So if for some reason my planter's not showing up, I can hit save. That button's going to turn green. The last button's my people button. I really don't care about that since I'm the one that did the field record. And so the import button will let you hit the import. That actually becomes a field record at that point, and you'll be able to go into the field record side and be able to see that in Traction. So this actually happened on May 30th. If I click on it, right there's that field record in Traction. I just approved it from John Deere. Better yet, if I go to my reports for a moment and go to field detailed, and I will go back to 2025 and just pick that one field, and it was this one right here. Hit apply, update. You will see that it did apply both varieties to the field. There's my units, there's my cost. Even my cost on my equipment is entered in here. So this is my true cost that's being reflected back to my field report. So anytime I'm doing my accounting records, it's adjusting my inventories as I purchase things. It's tying everything right back to this report in real time. So this cost on my equipment or my inventory, I can easily see that information on the left-hand side here. If I go to inputs and just switch to my seed, I can easily just click on these things and see where those dollars are coming from and what field records they're impacting. So you can kind of drill down and see this information. Same way with the equipment side of things. My equipment on that tractor, I had a repair expense just a few minutes ago, so that's why you see Keystone Co-op here, but there's that $1,000. So it's taken all my cost to that machine and it's pushing it to every field it touches, and that actual cost per acre is being reflected at all times. That number is going to likely change throughout the growing season as you have more expenses or more fields that you farm. Other things that people really enjoy about this is the harvest records. So if on the left hand side, if I go back to field records, and let's go ahead and do a new field record from scratch. We'll say it was a harvest record, and I will pick that exact same field that we just recorded the John Deere record for, and I'll pick one other field here, and let's say we harvested those two fields, and the date here is not going to matter a whole lot. We'll just put in a date here, December 1st. We'll just copy that down to the end date. We can put weather conditions and things on that. As well as here, you can enter in the total average yield for those two fields. You can do it this way, or you can hit the auto create loads and actually fill in the information here for each of the fields. So as you can see, it actually has my bin number 3 already selected here. I could choose the destination for that grain, where it's going. It is keeping track of my landlord split if I have a share crop scenario. And you know, if you want to do scale tickets and loads and things, you can enter all those into Traction as well. We do have a text import where you can do a massive import batch at one time. That's going to save you a ton of time as well. But this is just a quick harvest record on the field, and I can again pick out my combine, equipment, and people and things like that. Hit save. And now if I go back to the exact same report that we just looked at a few minutes ago, now it's got the bushels being applied to the field. It's got my grain, it's got my seed, it's got my rent expense, and then it's got my net income per bushel per acre. So these are the things that we do really, really well in Traction, being able to tie things back to a crop, back to a field. On the left nav here, just kind of touch on a few other things. Going back to reports, lots and lots of things that you can look at here. The income statement report is very, very popular. I think what people really enjoy most about this is be able to select what entities you want to show on that report. So if I just want to see just the Stark Farm information on it, I can do that. Also, I can drill down to any of these. So if I want to drill down to that 14,000, and actually there's that transaction that we just put in earlier today. If I drill down to that, I can keep drilling down to the actual transaction where I can make an edit or I can void the transaction. Also, going back to reports, you've got the ability to look at your accrual reports. Market value is very popular. So we actually have 3 balance sheets: cash, accrual, and market value. People love the market value balance sheet where you can enter in the values of your equipment, your land, and such. And these are great for those conversations with ag lenders to be able to see your net worth on your farm. And if I cancel out of this report does include a supporting schedule, which is very nice to be able to see how and where you put those numbers. That's going to give more visibility to your ag lender. Also, the budget is very popular. So I do have a cash flow budget where you can basically fill this out for every month, all your revenue, all your expenses. It's always showing you the ending cash position for each month. And as you can see here, the red is possible months I need to look at, and perhaps I might need a line of credit to get me through those months. What's also nice about this, you can compare budgeted versus actual, so I can see those numbers side by side. A few other things that's worth pointing out in reports. So we can handle your 1099s. Schedule F, you can view this at any time of the year to see where you're at with things. Farmers also love the inventory reports, and we can view these, let's say as of today. And also you can drill down to these inputs and see where things came from and how these numbers got here. So for example, that 10,000 worth of that seed variety, I can see the exact number of bags that I purchased, also the number of bags I used on my fields. This particular one was the one that we just brought over from John Deere. The other thing that farmers like about it is the ability to share it with your accountant. So if you want to set up Traction, share it with your tax preparer or a partner, you can do that. You can also take away that permission at any time. Thank you for joining today for this demonstration. If you want a more in-depth demo, our sales team is there for you. You can set up a meeting with them for that. I'd say go ahead and start a free trial. That way you can start putting your own information in, connect to the banks, John Deere, Climate, see how this is all going to work in one platform for you. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised how this will benefit your operation, and we look forward to working with you. Thank you.